sip of this. It's very good. Hey, welcome to another episode of Heather and Hops. My name is Kat, also known as Kat Weaver on Instagram and Ravelry. I'm a little bit under the weather today, but I really wanted to record, so I thought I'd get myself a chamomile tea, which is from Windy Hollow Farm, which is my favourite place on the planet that I've visited yet, but probably on the planet anyway. It's a lovely organic farm in Perthshire. She grows tea, but also this lovely chamomile that tastes a bit like honey without any honey added. And this was another cup that I made myself on a course that I did last year. It's quite fun. I think it's stone, and then it's got a matte glaze on the outside and a blue one on the a shiny one on the inside. But yeah, I'm gonna let that cool down a bit and jump right in. I think that's the washer again. I'll go and pause it. Oops. Yeah, so I'm wearing the first jumper that I ever knit today. This is my Hexworthy, which was a pattern by Katie Bean Green, who used to work for Katie Green. She's the Green Bean podcast. Amazing. She used to work for Blacker Yarns, now she's freelancing. But this was part of the tour collection, which was their 13th anniversary yarn, and well, I'm proud of it. It's the first jumper I ever knitted, and it's colour work, and yeah, it's worn really well. And also this is my first Sky Hill hat, which is a pattern by Emily Foden, which is in Knits About Winter. Yeah, I think that's it. First things first, I will talk a little bit about the jumper that I knitted for my other half, which came out sadly huge, and I asked for people's advice on what I should do. Should I shrink it? Should I just steek it and wear it as a cardigan myself and knit him a new one? He really liked it, so I decided to risk it. And what I ended up doing was I spent one of my Friday nights with him watching the washing machine, and we did 2 times. I put it in, I think one at like 400 RPM, whatever that means. I think it's RPM, like that. Can't be reps per minute because that seems mad. But yeah, so it was about 5 minutes, and then I did 10 minutes at about 800. And then I because it didn't drain, I put it in the spin dryer and kind of had a look, and it didn't seem like it had done almost anything. So Alex was kind of like, just try it. So I put it on a 30-minute wash, a full 30-minute cycle at 1,000, whatever it means. That seems mad, it's revolutions per minute if it is. Maybe I should Google that afterwards. And when I came back to it, it has felted, which is kind of what we wanted, and it has pulled together, and it's much more his size. It still needs a little bit of steaming or blocking to give it a slightly more relaxed shape. It sort of held its blocked shape quite well, but I think that's to do with the felting. He's not sure about the halo, so I might take something to it. I don't know if I can get one of the devices that takes the pills off and give it a little shave, or maybe risk using his shaver. So if anyone knows anything about that, you can see it when it's up close. Yeah, it really is quite hairy, and you can see that it's felted. I mean, I love it. but I'm really pleased that it now fits him. So thank you so much, kind humans, for there was quite a few people that would like to know what I did, so hopefully that explains it enough. But there was also quite a few people that suggested trying to shrink it. It really has worked. I don't think it's taken a full 8 inches out, but I think it's taken probably 6 of the inches out. And yeah, and I fully intend on borrowing this too. And I would also really like to knit myself one, but I think I'm going to hold fire on Loppy yarn for a little while. I have some more. I've probably got one more sweater quantities worth upstairs I have earmarked for a project. But when I was knitting this, it wasn't quite as relaxing as some of the other yarns that I've used, and I think that's quite interesting because when I started knitting, Loppy felt really nice because I think it stuck. It didn't lose stitches, and though it was a bit harder to work with, everything stayed, which made it easier in the bigger picture, if that makes sense. Whereas now I'm a bit more relaxed and able to move a bit more fluidly. Loppy doesn't allow for that quite as much. But I do love it, and it is incredibly warm. We went to the Yorkshire Dales at the weekend, and I actually ended up, it was bitter on one of the days, and we went for a walk. It was so cold and so windy, but I had it had a pinch of merino. It was a cotton, I think maybe cotton blend top, with my Tracer jumper, which is also knit in Loppy, and a coat, and I was still really quite warm apart from my hands because we all know I kept making mittens and giving them away. This hat did wonders. This is it's DK weight held double, and it's so dense and warm, even though it doesn't quite cover my ears. I know, I look a bit like a fisherman or something, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind a bit of judgment. So yeah, very pleased with that jumper, and I'm so pleased and grateful for all the help that was given, so thank you. Yeah, so, I guess I should say hi, because there's quite a lot of new people that have, I don't know how you found me, but you found me, so thank you. I just talk about what I've been knitting. I'm a very new knitter, and given where I live and my work schedule, I find it quite difficult to connect face to face with people that are knitters, I guess, or interested in yarn to the level that I have had the opportunity to be in the last sort of 6 months. I started knitting in September, which is when I cast this on. So there you go. And yeah, if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I have one more, well that wasn't really, I guess Alex's wasn't really a finished object, but I have one more finished object to show you, which, I mean, I really love this. This was a test knit for Robin Knits on Instagram, Robin_knits, I will add a tag. And this is the Silver Strings. It's a t-shirt sort of shaped jumper, and I knit it out of, it's Suri, Melted Baby Suri in the Cactus colourway by King Fibre, and it's oversized, it's short sleeved, and it feels like wearing a cloud. It really is lovely. I didn't think I was going to wear it because of the colours particularly, but actually I've worn this twice now to teach yoga, so it's a really nice top to be wearing just before, when I've got, you know, maybe a tank top or, you know, a vest thing on. Just before we get warm, it's a really nice, snuggly soft, and then it's really nice to put on afterwards when you're all calm and relaxed, snuggle into it. I've got a big, I would like to knit a big cardigan for after yoga too. And I have seen that Andrew and Maori's got a beautiful yoga shawl which is wearable like 1,000 different ways that I would be interested in doing. But I've got a big, it's like made out of jersey material, and it's a huge like dress that zips up with pockets, and that combined with this after it, I was ready to just jump into bed. It was so lovely and soft. I do really recommend this pattern. I'm not sure when it will be released, and I've got a feeling that if I can get hold of a little bit more, I would like to. I've got a cotton linen, some cotton linen navy, I think it's Rowan Creative, that I bought maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I'd quite like to knit another one in that, so it's just quite a nice summery one. And I think this would be quite good all year round. From, you know, it'd be quite easy to add longer sleeves or even more cropped fit or a longer fit. So I've got a feeling that there will be more of this, because it was such a calming knit, because it's a lot of stocking knit and not very much shaping really, so it's very easy to keep track of. Yeah, it was really a really nice simple, but because of the eyelets along, it was interesting. It wasn't like knitting one big vanilla sock. So yeah, very pleased with that one. It will be definitely a staple in my wardrobe, and I think as my wardrobe of knitted things and handmade garments grows, I will start to part with things as and when I've worn them, or if I don't wear that, for example, I will pass it forward, like it might be to a friend, or see if a friend of a friend wants it. Maybe even my grandmother would quite like that. She's not really yeah, she likes jade, but anyway, that one's for me for now. So yeah, there's that. Progress wise, I think the only other thing I had cast on was my Fichu Blue, which I haven't really put much time into, and I'm midway on a row. How bad am I? No judgment here. So this is, I believe, Voile and Souchet pattern. Lots of twisted rib, twisted broken rib even, and stockinette. And I'm knitting this in, oh, it's so soft. It's Spectrum Fibre, her mohair in the amethyst colourway, and I think it's her sock base in amethyst too. I've done a little bit of knitting now with Spectrum Fibre and fully intend on supporting her some more. I've got my eye on a couple of her yarns, but yeah, like I said, I'm trying to sort of work through some stash, and I've got projects that I'll show you in a minute that aren't really for myself, but I'm looking forward to doing some more for myself. I'm not a particularly selfish person, or I try not to be, you know. I do practice, sorry about the crinkling, do practice trying to be nice for everyone, but I do knit for myself more often than not. I think, maybe not, I think I've done quite a bit of knitting for other people. I've knitted shawls and jumpers for gifts at Christmas, and yeah, no, I'm a bit of a mishmash, but anyway, let's have a quick sip of this. It's very good. So I have one cast on which, if your name's Monica and you live at Windy Hollow Farm, avert your eyes please. So I'm knitting a cardigan for a friend. I met her only in June last year, and as you've heard about the Camomile, I love her to bits. I think her farm's wonderful. It's a little sanctuary of a place to stay, and she asked me to knit her a cardigan. So I have cast on Caitlin Hunter's Rambling Woman, which I really can't wait to knit one for myself. When I do so, I don't think the colours are going to be too dissimilar from what I'm knitting already, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to knitting one for myself, which, like I just said about a cardigan for after yoga, that was my intention. So this is the first time I'll be steeking, and I haven't got awfully far, but I did put some time into it while I was away. And unfortunately I have got it on quite a small cable, so you can't see it too well. I'll try and flatten one edge out without letting all the needles fall off. So this is how far I've got. I'm part way through a chart, so these are like little flower emblems, and I'm really pleased with how these colours are actually interacting. Initially I was a bit scared that the contrast here wasn't enough. You have the mid grey and the brown, and the light grey and the you can almost, yeah, you can see it. So the lilac and cream and the blue, but I think it is different enough, and it will look very different once it's all together. So this is the Caitlin Hunter Rambling Woman, and I'm using quite a mix. It calls for 7 colours, so I have, it's a bit of a scruffy cake, I'm afraid. So this is mostly Jacob fleece by West Yorkshire Spinners, the same as I knitted my Swancho in. Now I knew what my gauge was, I knew how I knitted with it, so I knew that it would be okay. Then I'm using their Croft 2 as my 3 sort of more fun contrast colours for Monica. She said she likes purples, blues and greens, and I think this hits the mark. It's a little bit fun without being too vibrant. I think me and Monica, though we don't dress the same, there's similarities in what we like. And then, so that's, yeah, I've shown you 6, and then a little bit of this dark brown, which is another one that I used for my Swancho. There's a little bit of vegetation in there, which is always exciting. Look at me having a good old snug. So yeah, these are the colours that I'm using, and I am really enjoying knitting on this, and I probably would have got further had I have not struggled so much with this next project. Well, not struggled, but before I move on, this pattern so far has been quite, well, very easy to read. My steek, I don't know if you could be able to see it, because there's not that much of it. Yeah, I'm also not quite part. My steek I'm working in checkerboard, which is this part here. You can see it a bit better on the brown and the grey. This is my steeking area along here, so this will be cut, which is a bit scary. But so far it's been really easy to read. No second guessing myself. The bit of ribbing was twisted rib, which I've grown to really like, and fingers crossed this one fits better than the last gift knit I did. But yeah, very pleased with this one so far. Can't wait to put a bit more time into that. And then I'm just going to try and not make too much noise while I move stuff around. And then my final knit is, well, that final cast on is the it's the Melted Shrug by Sosu. Sosu Summer, Sosu Knits. Let's double check her name. Hate to be Suzanne Summer, Suso, yeah. And this the shape and the thing itself is actually, it might be a real pleasant surprise. I might love it. I think the shape I will love and the feel of it I'll love, but I'm unsure about the colours because, as you might have seen over the weeks if you've been with me, if not, I do wear a bit of colour. Like, I love a mustard and I do love blues and greens, but I'm not particularly vibrant. I like a muted pastel and patterns, but only ones that I'm drawn to, if that makes any sense at all. I'm not fickle or particularly picky, but I'm not a busy person. Maybe? I try not to be, because I believe that freckles give me a busy face anyway, and then I've got all these piercings and glasses and things that just, I don't like to wear too much going on. And she says wearing, by the way, these are ones that my aunt knit for me 2 or 3 Christmases ago. These are probably my favourite socks in the world. I wear them a lot, but yeah, so I am wearing quite a little busy stuff. So maybe you'll go, shut up cat, you don't really know what you're on about, but I'm a little bit picky. I like to have a simple wardrobe that kind of, everything can be worn with everything where possible. I'm still working on running it down, but stop waffling. So I've cast on for a melted shrug, and I am using, sorry, turn the volume down for a moment if you don't want the crinkles. So the first section I cast on was in these two, which is Soft Lemon and Rosemary. This is Melted Baby Suri by King Fibre, and this is their Merino singles. And that looks like, oh, this. Is this the right side? This is the right side. There we go. And when I cast it on, to be honest, I was initially quite scared, but as I saw it all come together, it's really grown on me. The colours, like, they've gone from being neon to sort of a melted neon, so I guess with the word melted shrug, it really works. So that's a pleasant surprise, and I am quite pleased with how that's coming along. The next section, because I can't believe I managed to get to the next section. The first section was very easy for me. It was, you know, it was garter with turning. Very simple. But the second section, there's a side piece and a back panels, a back panel and 2 side pieces, sorry, that are brioche. And as a very new knitter, having not really heard anything about brioche other than it seems to be quite, I want to say trendy, but it's quite prominent in a lot of patterns at the moment. But I didn't know anything really about it. To me it looked like quite squishy, one by one or 2 by 2 rib, like I didn't know. It seemed quite convoluted. And I tried to cast on this section, one section of this, a whopping 8 times. So most of my weekend, which could have been knitting probably the cardigan, I was trying to learn how to brioche using these 2 yarns, which in hindsight, fun. And again, ignoring the colourway, for me, like, they're very similar, really. So this is Gelateria and Nassau, biking fibre in the merino singles. Oh, and this little bag is my tea and quilt. I love this bag so much. This is the only nice project bag I have as of yet. So currently that poor cardigan's living in a cardboard box. I might have to get some baskets and line them. But anyway, being very new at knitting anyway, and then learning to brioche using two colours that, if you can see, the gelateria actually has very similar greens in to the Nassau. So when you're learning to brioche, it becomes a little bit of a challenge on the setup rows to really know what you're doing, is what I'm saying. So although now I've completed this section, and you can see it here, you can see it made it very easy, and now I completely understand how it works. It's very simple, really. The setup was incredibly difficult because I didn't know what I was doing. In hindsight, I should maybe have had a go of something else brioche rather than trying this huge project. But I do love the way that they've knitted together. What do you think? Yeah, I do quite like the back where it's mostly green with the little hint of the gelateria coming through, but this is the right side. And here you can see a little bit of them together. So it's definitely an interesting knit. It has been really, really fun to learn brioche actually, and if you've got the opportunity and you're a little bit nervous about doing so, I would say try it. I would say maybe get a DK weight yarn, even blooming let loppy because it's so sticky, in two very different colours, and just try it, because it isn't that complicated, really. Don't try and do it where you're trying to play a board game with your fiance's family, and when you're tired, give up rather than continuing. But other than that being my own fault in many ways, and continuing when I maybe shouldn't have, and not thinking about it quite as clearly as I should have, I think I was overcomplicating it when I was reading it. This has been a really, really fun knit to do. The melted suri held with the merino single feels amazing, and actually, can you imagine just after yoga just putting this on and snuggling down? Audrey's eyeing it up. Let's see if I can, oh, she's gone back to sleep again. Hey, are you tired? Are you listening? Yeah, she likes to sit with us when we're talking. Yeah. So yeah, this is as far as I've got on the Melted Shrug by Suzanne Summer. It's a really nice knit so far. It definitely didn't need to be as long a process as I made it, and that is why I don't have all that much knitting, but yeah, there you go. That's my thing, that's where I'm at. I think that's all I've got for this week. I might put up I didn't take that much footage really while I was away in Yorkshire with my other half, but I might compile another little A Glimpse into the Life video this week or next week. And also, while I remember, there seems to be quite an influx of you, which is really, really nice, so hi again. Basically I'm looking for a wedding dress, and also I think I would really like to knit myself a cardigan and or a shawl for our wedding, which is in September. So if you've got any recommendations of people you know that make dresses, or have any quite plain cardigan or shawl patterns that you'd recommend. I think I've seen one called Farmhouse, but I can't remember who it's by. And I really love, I can't remember her name, but she's lovely, the Fibre Tales podcast. Fibre Tales, her new shawl's beautiful too. And then there's, I can't remember who did it. I think it's Leister Knits, her 3-day cardigan. So just a really simple one with mohair. But yeah, basically, I'm not very good at shopping. I don't particularly want to give money to a big company if I can help it. I would rather help a small maker. I think in terms of a dress, I'd probably just like something really plain and linen-y, or maybe some sort of twill with a simple top. But yeah, any suggestions? I'm open. I'm an open book for suggestions for that too. So yeah, if you have any advice for me or suggestions, it would be lovely to hear from you, and I hope you have a peaceful and happy week, and I hope that you get to do a little bit of crafting, whatever that is that you're into. And as always, I'm here to talk. I'm quite an open book, happy to listen. Any problems that you've got, you just want someone to chat to, I'm happy to be that person for you, should you be struggling. Sometimes it's quite nice to talk to someone completely detached from your situation. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely time, and I hope to see you and speak to you very soon. Bye!